Bill Simmons, the podfather himself, gives us an insight on the Karl Anthony Towns Julius Randle trade, and I'm here to break it down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Dariel. Bill Simmons put out an episode recently where he had Austin Rivers on, and they were breaking down the Knicks and Timberwolves trade between KAT and Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo. We all know the details of that trade, but what Bill Simmons said was kind of interesting. He said that he asked around and he actually heard that there were real chemistry questions, real chemistry concerns regarding Julius Randle and the rest of the Villanova Knicks. Now, this kind of isn't breaking news. Ever since the Mikal Bridges trade went through earlier in the summer, the number one question on a lot of Knicks fans' mind, the number one question on all these talking head shows' mind, Stephen A. Smith, all these other people, was how is the chemistry between Julius Randle and the rest of the Nova Knicks going to look like? How are they going to integrate Julius Randle into the offense with the rest of the Nova Knicks? Man, it's a little disappointing to hear. Bill Simmons he's definitely tapped into the whole NBA media. He definitely has access to people within organizations. So when he says something, you do have to listen. And just by him saying that and talking to Austin Rivers on this podcast episode, I guess it kind of just validates all the concerns that us Knicks fans had once that Mikal Bridges trade went through. All the concerns we had was, how is Julius Randle going to feel about this? How is Julius Randle going to be integrated into the offense? All those worries, they were true. And I don't know if it was the main reason. The videos that I put out a couple days ago or yesterday, depending on when this video drops, there were many reasons why the trade went down. Mitchell Robinson's ankle is pretty much busted up. He's going to be out for a lot longer than they let on. Donte DiVincenzo wasn't going to be happy with the role that he was going to have in this upcoming season, coming off the bench, especially after the season that he had last season, being such an important player, the starting five, hitting clutch shots, being one of our better offensive players, one of our better players, period, in some moments of the season, specifically in the playoffs. Like, there are a myriad of reasons as to why the trade happened. But Bill Simmons saying that the chemistry concerns with Julius Randle and the rest of the Nova Knicks is kind of one of the reasons why the trade happened. It's a little disappointing. Going into the season, like I keep saying, I was going to give Julius Randle the benefit of the doubt. I was going to go in with a clean slate. I know the type of player he is, a ball stopper. He get the ball in the post and he takes 5 seconds to make a decision. I know the type of player he is, but I felt like Julius Randle would turn the corner. He was going to turn over a new leaf with the amount of talent that we were able to acquire. Trading Mikal, re-signing OG, getting Randle himself back healthy. I think Randle, Donte DiVincenzo, if egos were put to the side and injuries might have not happened, I really felt like the team that we had prior to the trade, I think we had a better chance of making a deep playoff run and actually threatening the Boston Celtics coming out of the East. And now with some time to process the trade, I hate to say it, man, but I'm not a fan of the trade. I don't think we needed to do this. We did not need to do this. And if anything, we should have waited until the trade deadline. We should have waited for the first half of the season to see if it could actually work. The biggest question was going to be Julius Randle. Everything else was, besides Mitchell Robinson, that's definitely the second biggest question behind Julius Randle. But if Julius Randle, within the first half of the season, if we see that the chemistry is building and is going in a positive direction, then we needed to go down that road, man. The OG, Mikal Bridges on the wing, defending Tatum, defending Brown in the Eastern Conference Finals. Julius Randle not having to guard Tatum or Brown, not having to worry about foul trouble, not having to worry about being tired. And then Julius Randle's going to be able to do his thing offensively. And then we got Brunson, obviously. Like, that is more, I felt more confident in that than depending on a Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns 1-2 punch in the playoffs. Karl Anthony Towns, man, like he's just not proven, man. And Julius Randle, he's had questions, with his Knicks tenure, first time going to the playoffs. We got submitted by the Atlanta Hawks, losing in 5, and he was basically a no-show. But I mean, half of that blame is on him. The other half is on the coaching, on his teammates. Nobody really stepped up, maybe besides Derrick Rose. The Atlanta Hawks defense was to shut down Julius Randle, which they did, and that was it. That's how they won the series. And then the next couple times that Julius Randle made it to the playoffs, he was injured. The ankle, it was a lot worse than we suspected. He had to get surgery in the offseason, so he was playing really hurt. And then the shoulder injury, obviously. Like, he couldn't even play in the playoffs, so we couldn't even see him with the team that we had. So I get it. Julius Randle, you can also bring up the argument that is not as proven, but I don't know, man. I just feel like we're depending a lot on Karl Anthony Towns to put it all together in this season, where we have not seen that at all. We haven't seen him put it together. We haven't seen him really go into a game and see what his strengths are and really take advantage of those strengths. He is, right now in his career, he's like this newer NBA big man version where you fell in love with the three, and yeah, you're a good three-point shooter, but what about your back to the basket type of game? What about when the defense is switching, you have a smaller guy on you? Why aren't you on the low block punishing him? Why aren't you in the low block just getting, like Shaq says, 28 and 10 every night? And when you've proven to not put it all together, what makes us fans think that you're going to put it all together in the New York City market, where it's 10 times more media coverage than Minnesota? Karl Anthony Towns, the relationship with him and Tibbs, it's kind of up in the air. I mean, as far as right now, things are good, things are smooth. But when Tibbs was the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, there were some quotes being thrown out there that Karl Anthony Towns is immature, that he needs to grow up. Tibbs, like, what has changed with Tibbs? Tibbs is still the same, like, in-your-face coach. I demand this from you, and I want to get the best out of you. And some players are a little bit more sensitive to others, and you can say that KAT may be one of those players. There's just so many questions, man. There's just so many questions being thrown out with this trade. And like I said a little bit earlier in this video, like, I don't think this was the move. I don't think this is the move. And I think we actually took a step back with this trade when we didn't even need to make the trade. We didn't even need to make the trade. We could have seen how Julius Randle was going to be integrated into the offense. But we're here now. We got to deal with it. We got to hope for the best. Hopefully Karl Anthony Towns puts it together, and we'll see what happens. But Bill Simmons saying that one of the things he heard was that Julius Randle and the rest of the Villanova Knicks, there was a serious chemistry concern from the front office, and that's one of the reasons why the trade happened. So we got to rock with that. But now I want to talk about one of the NBA personalities. I want to talk about Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins last week had a segment on the NBA Today show, and he had a list talking about the top 5 players with something to prove. And would you look at that? At number 5 and number 4 are the players that were actually traded for each other. Julius Randle coming in at number 4 for Big Perk, and KAT coming in at number 5. I want to put Karl Anthony Towns at number 3. And it's really hard for me to not bring up the New York market as a reason why. Kendrick Perkins' list was top 5 players that need to prove something around the league. But when you throw Karl Anthony Towns' name into the New York market, where the New York market is the biggest market in America alongside Los Angeles, like, look at what Jalen Brunson has been able to do since he's got here. The 2 seasons he's been here, he's led us to the second round of the playoffs, playing through injury, completely changing the direction of the organization, the projection of the franchise, and now he's looked at as a top 10 player in the league. Like, if you play well here, if you turn it around, if you make consistent playoff runs, you're going to be looked at as a god. Look at how everybody treats Patrick Ewing, not even just New York. NBA legends, they treat Patrick Ewing. Shaq says Patrick Ewing is his favorite player of all time. And Karl Anthony Towns, he has a very ample opportunity to change the narrative around his career, because right now, Karl Anthony Towns, the narrative on him is that he's immature, his basketball IQ isn't great, he needs to grow up. And like I said in the previous segment, he could put all of it together. And if he puts it all together and he shows a complete side of being a basketball player with the New York Knicks, with the 1-2 punch of Jalen Brunson and himself, and leading us to an Eastern Conference Finals, like, it could do wonders for his career. And that's why I think Karl Anthony Towns needs to be put at number 3, because if you come here to New York and you put your best foot forward and you actually deliver and you actually show results, not even to the New York Knicks fans, but just to the NBA world, you show results, you're going to be put in a bigger limelight, in a positive limelight, I should correct myself. And it could really help Karl Anthony Towns out, man. Julius Randle going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, this is not a Timberwolves digest channel, but just speaking on Randle going to the Timberwolves, I feel like if he's able to go there and really mesh with Anthony Edwards, it's going to be interesting because Randle is a ball stopper, and that is Anthony Edwards' team. Everything runs through him. He is the future of that franchise. He is the future of the league, honestly. So, yeah, Randle definitely has more all-star nods. Randle is definitely the veteran. Randle is probably making more money than him right now. But it's Anthony Edwards' team. So that dynamic between them two is going to be very interesting. And it's going to be something I'm going to be keeping my eye on throughout the season. But, you know, that's not really our concern anymore. And I hope Randle, I wish him the best. Hopefully he succeeds in Minnesota. Hopefully they have a really good season. But Karl Anthony Towns, man, like I said in one of the previous videos that I posted, I hate to say this, but it's on you, bro. It's on you. Knicks fans, we were expecting to see the Villanova Knicks and Julius Randle lead us to a very, very successful season. And just because you got here and you have more all-star nods, you're making more money, the expectations haven't changed. We are still expecting to make a deep playoff run. And if you don't deliver, if you don't have the results that us Knicks fans expect from you, you will be hearing it. Not just from me, not just from us, the Knicks fans. You're going to be hearing it from the New York media. The pressure here is real. The expectations, the Knicks fans, we've been waiting for a while for us to be put in a position to just be good. Be good consistently. And now that we're here, we're not looking to take a step back. We had the team that we wanted to see and that we all thought was going to bring us to the promised land, an actual NBA Finals appearance. And now you're here, and we gave up 2 incredibly good players for you. You got to show up. That's it. Point blank, period. You need to show up. You need to grow up. You need to be mature. No more of this stupid quotes in the press conference after the game. No more of this just being down on yourself. No more of showing us stupid, bad IQ basketball. Put it together, be the player that you can be, which is, in my opinion, a top 2 big man. There's no reason why you should not be in the conversation for a best big man. Right now, it's obviously Embiid and Jokic, and your name has been completely thrown out the window. You need to reestablish yourself as one of the better big men in the league. And with this upcoming season, you have an ample opportunity to do that. So I'm going to leave it there. Now that I've collected myself a little bit, I am going to be able to give you guys the sign-off that you guys have all been wanting to hear. So, Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is loose for co-MVP. Mikal Bridges for Defensive Player of the Year. Taj Gibson for President. And until next time, I'll check you out on the next video. Peace.